We've got other great news to share this morning. I have the great pleasure of introducing the Beacon Press Report. As many of you know, Beacon Press has long been the UU's voice to the wider world. I'm happy to see, as others have said, that the press continues to flourish and to do so much good work. Here to tell you about some of the successes this year is our own Helen Atwan, who has been director of Beacon since 1995. Helen?
Wow, that was amazing. Amazing. I just talk about a hard act to follow. But it's also, I just want to say that it has been such a privilege and a pleasure to work with these three inspired leaders. And I just wanted to call out how much they brought us and how grateful we on staff are for their leadership as well. So now more than ever, we can start the slideshow. Yes. We have really learned the meaning of that expression since last November. The bad news is that progressive people across the nation need help, resources, understanding, and spiritual support. The good news is we've got the books for them. There is virtually no front in this resistance campaign where we don't have books and experts, where we haven't had a voice. This is your voice. This is the voice of Unitarian Universalism. And this isn't just measured in book sales, but in how many times our books are reviewed, how many times our authors speak to audiences live, on TV, on radio, in print media, and all over the social media. We've done 2 full-page print ads in The Nation and 1 in Harper's, and millions of online impressions worth of ads with The Nation and Harper's, and independently. We are reminding progressive thinkers that books are a vital resource in these troubled times, not just our books, but hey, especially Beacon. We're promoting our backlist, that is our older titles, as resources for resistance on Facebook, Twitter, and half a dozen other social media platforms. The campaigns include advertising online and in print, and of course, people are responding. Our backlist sales were up almost 35% since the election. That's a lot of books we sold. And the hits just keep on coming. Our most popular blog of the month, Speaking Truth to Trump, included Beacon authors Anita Hill, Reverend William Barber, Aviva Chomsky, Roxanne Dunbar-Ortiz, Christopher Emdin, Eboo Patel, and many others. Our associate publisher, Tom Halleck, did a powerful post on the special role of publishers in these troubled times, which was picked up and reposted widely. Really proud of that. Oh, and by the way, we had a post by Meryl Streep on public education. So I encourage all of you to sign up for our Beacon Press UU newsletter, which will keep you completely up to date, by texting Beacon, in all caps, to 66866. Just follow the instructions and you will be signed up on your preferred email to get notices of what's going on at Beacon Press. I think you'll want to stay with us on this. And of course, do read Beacon Broadside. Are we on the next slide? Yes, okay. But we seem to have missed Reverend Barber. And it may be just because I've missed my pages. Justice for Immigrants. I am completely messed up. Thank you. That was very sweet of you. So, of course, our authors are defending immigrants and resisting Islamophobia and defending the rights of indigenous people and all those who work with them. And more than ever, since the appointment of Betsy DeVos, resisting, yes, I like that hiss, resisting the privatization of our public schools and the corporatization of public education. We're working overtime on these urgent issues with three new books. These 3 new books are coming out in the next 9 months. Now we get to Reverend Resistance. Love that title. And I'm sure I don't need to say a lot about Reverend Barber to this crowd. He's been all over the traditional and social media since the election. Keep an eye out for his new book, Revive Us Again, which will be out from Beacon in spring of 2018. The book is a series of sermons and speeches that lays out his groundbreaking vision for organizing across racial, economic, and religious lines, paired with essays from leading activists in his Moral Mondays movement who write about implementing ideas in an age of division. And how about that New York Times front page, above the fold, full color photo of Reverend Barber that just was like 10 days ago? It was amazing. And he was on Trevor Noah. Would it surprise you to hear that even more readers are turning to Viktor Frankl's classic than ever? So we've published an edition specifically for young adults, and it's already receiving spectacular welcome. One of our great strengths as a publisher is the ability to respond to the social and political climate in 3 ways: to lift books out of our extensive catalog of titles published over a century and a half, and re-promote them, and sometimes reissue them in new formats or with new introductions, as we did here with this entirely new edition of Frankel, as we did with the classic Alice Childress book, like One of the Family, with a new introduction by Roxane Gay. Or we sign new books that speak to the moment and get them out as quickly as possible, as we're doing with a new book by Frances Moore Lappé, known to many of you as the author of Diet for a Small Planet, and Adam Eichen, called Daring Democracy. Look for that in just 3 more months. And of course, sometimes we're just prescient. For those of you who haven't been around as long as I have, both at the UUA or on the planet, we published a landmark book about trans people in 1996, right after I arrived at Beacon, called Transgender Warriors by the wonderful Leslie Feinberg. So now 2 new books carry on that proud tradition. Jill Soloway, known to many of you as the creator of Transparent, the TV series, called At the Broken Places, Profoundly Vulnerable and Brave, a necessary and beautiful new book. And of course, we've received amazing praise and press for You're in the Wrong Bathroom. Now more than ever, we need books like this. The alt-right, stand your ground, 2 of dozens of phrases that we need to resist. I am really proud of our community of authors and how they show up, stand up, speak up, and resist And actually now more than ever on the opinion page of the New York Times, we've had something like 10 op-ed pieces by Beacon authors since the election. And they've been about everything. Most recently, our wonderful author, Dr. Danielle Ofri, had a piece on the op-ed page about how doctors, nurses, the entire medical profession needed to stand up against the new healthcare law. And she called it, we need a doctor's march on Washington. And people responded so spontaneously and so urgently to her that overnight, with a little bit of help from us and other on her social media team, she created an entire network, a website, a Twitter feed, and accounts on Facebook and Twitter, so that the medical profession could be alerted to this movement and they could quickly get in touch with their legislators to say, we've got to stop this. We're going to take 24 million people off health care in America. And it's been fantastic. If you're on social media yourself, look up Dr. Danielle Ofri and follow her and support and retweet her work. But it's really been a very grassroots and very rewarding movement. I'm running out of time, so I better move on. Beacon had a great year. I think you heard that from Lucia Santini. We've had our 15th year of surpluses in a row, but these are the stats that should mean the most. How our books and authors reach people here and abroad. We couldn't have done it without the support of the UUA, without our longtime and new friends at the UU Veach program at Shelter Rock, without help and guidance from the UU funding panel, without an outstanding staff of remarkable and dedicated individuals, a staff that has grown stronger as it has grown more diverse. And of course, without the support evidenced here, thanks to all of you in the UU community. We are so proud to be here with you in this time of resistance and rejoicing. Thank you for sending me.